Welcome to Easy English Podcast.
Okay, so you know how we're always glued to our phones and like constantly scrolling through news feeds and all that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just how we stay up to date, right?
Totally. And it's so easy to just get caught up in, whatever's trending on social media. But we wanted to take a deep dive today into something, well, a bit more old school, I guess you could say.
Okay, interesting. I like where this is going.
Yeah, so we've been looking at a bunch of research and articles about newspapers, like actual physical newspapers.
Whoa, going old school.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right. And the big question is, do they even matter anymore? Like, can they really help us stay informed in, this crazy digital world?
You know, it's funny because when you start digging into the research, it actually gets pretty interesting. Like, there's more to it than you might think.
Exactly. And one of the things that really jumped out at us was this whole idea of credibility and accuracy. Like newspapers, they have these whole systems in place, right? With editorial teams and fact checkers.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's huge because online, it's so easy for, like, misinformation and rumors to spread like wildfire.
Right, because anyone can post anything.
And they do.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell what's real and what's not. You know, with newspapers, there's this, like, built-in sense of accountability. Like, they have a reputation to uphold.
Right. They can't just, throw anything out there. They have to be really careful about getting the facts straight.
And if they do make a mistake, they actually have to issue a correction, which you don't really see that happening too often online.
It's like they're more invested in getting it right than just getting it out there fast.
Exactly. And that's so important because it means you can actually trust what you're reading.
Yeah.
You know, you can be confident that you're getting accurate information.
Makes sense. So it's not just about the speed of information, but the quality of it.
Totally. And you know what? Another thing that really stood out to me in the material was the depth of analysis you get with newspapers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's like they don't just tell you what happened, but they help you understand why it happened.
Just like the difference between seeing a headline on Twitter and like actually reading a well-researched article.
Totally. Like social media might tell you that, a certain company's stock price went up.
Right. But a newspaper would give you the whole context, like what were the market forces at play?
Or maybe some expert analysis from like an economist or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about connecting the dots and seeing the bigger picture.
And getting those like aha moments where you really start to understand how things work.
Yeah. And that's where newspapers can really shine because they have the space to go into detail and provide that in-depth analysis.
Okay, so we've talked about accuracy and depth, but there's another benefit that I found super interesting that the materials touch on.
Okay. I'm curious. Lay it on me.
It's about how reading newspapers can actually help improve your language skill.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one because when you think about it, you're exposed to such a wide range of vocabulary and writing styles in newspapers.
And it's not just like passive reading either. Like you
Yeah.
have to really engage with the text to understand the arguments and the nuances of the language.
Yeah, it's like a mental workout for your brain. You're constantly learning new words and expanding your vocabulary.
And it's not just about language either. Like you're also exposed to a ton of different topics like politics, science, the arts.
So it's a great way to broaden your general knowledge and become more well-rounded.
Exactly, like a mental cross-training program or something.
I like that analogy.
So, okay, let's get practical here because, we're all busy people.
Yeah, for sure.
So how can we actually fit newspaper reading into our daily routine?
Well, the good news is you don't have to like completely overhaul your life.
Right, not like quit your job and become a librarian or something.
No. But even just like small changes can make a difference. Like, start with something simple. Maybe just skim the headlines while you're having your morning coffee.
Or like pick one or two sections that you're really interested in and focus on those.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
if you're a business person, maybe just read the business section. Or if you're into sports, just stick to the sports pages.
And one thing I thought was cool was the idea of discussing articles with other people.
Oh, yeah. That's a great way to like solidify your understanding and get different perspectives.
Because sometimes, you read something and you think you understand it. But then when you try to explain it to someone else.
You realize that maybe you didn't grasp it as well as you thought.
Exactly. And it can also lead to some really interesting conversations and debates.
Totally. And, even just 10 minutes a day of focused reading can make a big difference over time.
So it's not about like spending hours poring over every single article.
No, it's about making a conscious effort to engage with the material and make it a part of your routine.
So I guess the bottom line here is that newspapers aren't just a relic of the past.
Definitely not. They still have a lot to offer in terms of like credible information, in-depth analysis, and even personal growth.
They can help us become more informed, more engaged citizens, and, maybe even a little bit smarter.
So to our listeners out there, next time you're tempted to just scroll through your phone, maybe give a newspaper a try.
Even just once. You might be surprised at what you discover.
Yeah, there's a whole world of information and insights waiting for you, just beyond the digital headlines.
And who knows, maybe you'll even find yourself enjoying the experience of, actually holding a paper and turning the pages.
Like in the good old days.
Exactly.
So go ahead, give it a shot. You might just discover a whole new way to connect with the world around you.